You've probably heard the advice to buy experiences, not things. You've seen me say that, and I mean it. Other people mean it, and it's actually true. But there's something missing, because taken literally, that advice can create a problem. Skiing is an experience, for example, but you can't ski without skis. So are skis a thing, or are skis part of the experience? Today we're going to complicate this a little bit. Complicate this advice, but in a useful way. You've got experiences and you've got stuff, and often these things are viewed as one or the other. But I don't think it's that simple. It's not so easy. Buy experiences over things is too simple. It's too simplified. Because there's popular advice. Again, I've given you this popular advice. Buy experiences. Don't buy stuff. Focus on experiences. Don't buy things. But the fact of the matter is, experiences require things. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. Unless you're just going on a hike or a walk, and even then, you need shoes, you need gear. So it's very difficult to find an experience that doesn't require some kind of thing. So you might like grilling or smoking. But for that, you need a grill. But then what kind of grill do you get? How expensive does this grill need to be? We already talked about this one. If I want to go skiing, I need skis. If I want to go hiking, I need hiking boots. So it's not so clear to say, don't buy hiking boots, don't buy skis, or don't buy a grill, because those are things and we're supposed to buy experiences. But it's not so easy. Some people really like race car driving. They like driving their car on a track. Think of John Wick. Well, in that case, the car that's usually considered a thing becomes part of the experience. So you might be saying, okay, if you go skiing, you can rent the skis. So now we've got an interesting way to think about how do we buy the things we need for experiences. I like to think about cost per use, renting versus buying. So if I can rent skis for $50 and skis cost $500, I'm making these numbers up, and I'm only going to ski once, well, clearly this makes a lot more sense to rent the skis. But if I'm going to ski 26 times this season and for 5 more seasons, well, now that math is starting to make the expensive skis the least expensive option. Because instead of renting $50 every time, there's a break-even point. And in my case, I think it was 10 times or whatever. So if I'm skiing less than 10 times, it might make sense, just with this equation, to rent. If I'm going to ski 11 or more times, it makes sense to buy. Now, it still might make sense to buy the thing for the experience, even if you're not quite breaking even, because there is value to having your own stuff, understanding your own gear. There is value to jumping the line and not having to wait to rent the skis, to really understand your boots and to get a good fitting boot. But thinking about how much is this going to cost per use, you could almost make that thing part of the experience. And when you understand how your spending connects to your experiences, the experiences that you actually value, money becomes less about discipline or picking one or the other. It's more about alignment, using this money to give yourself a great life. And sometimes that's things that help you with experiences. That's where meaningful spending lives.